let's take a look at my passive skill tree. But first, when it comes to the bandits, I helped Oak to get the physical damage, the life generation and the physical damage reduction. Without out of the way, let's go to my passive skill tree. I went for that the physical damage and I went for the attack speed in the beginning. I have some armor evasion life here. I have Mastered Arena, Bravery and Art of the Gladiator. I have Defiance, I have a Yule Sock here, and I have physical damage, attack speed, melee damage. And if you can, try to get some block chance and some life on them as well. I have Golem's Blood. I have Testudo because I want to have a lot of block chance in this build. And I have Retaliation. I have Cloak Chain. And I have Vitality Void. This life and mana leech note here are the only mana leech I need to sustain my Blade Flurry indefinitely. But if you're having trouble sustaining your mana, you can take another mana leech note here, and if you really need to sustain your mana, you can also take Spirit Void. And then you can just drop them off, so just have this one. I'm currently not using Iron Reflexes. It's because I don't have any evasion on my gear, but if you're having gear with evasion or armor and evasion, you should definitely take Iron Reflexes. It's a really good note. Moving on. I went more for the Ranger area, and I took Command of Steel on the way. Again, more block chance and even some damage. I have Fitness, I have Precision, I have Weapon Aristotry, and I have Aspect of Links. By the way, if you want even more life, you can take this life here as well. I have Herbalism, I have Victor Blade, some really good crit chance and some physical damage, and I have Brutal Blade for a good amount of block chance, physical damage and attack speed. So let's go to the other area. I have another Yule here, and you can see melee damage, physical attack, damage, and some attack speed. Also have some block chance with shields. I have this whole big life here, and I have Constitution and Path to Warrior. I have War's Blood, Heart of the Warrior, Born to Fight. I also have Solidarity. I have Unwavering Stance, so I can't get stunned. I have Juggernaut. I have Barbarism, and finally I have Dismembering for some good crit chance. And for my Ascendancy tree, I am a Gladiator for the block chance. I went for Painforged and Versatile Combatant, so 100% of my block chance are applied to spell as well. And then I went for Violent Retaliation and Gorgeous Violence. You don't have to take Violent Retaliation, but I really like it. You can take Outmatch, Outlast for some good amount of damage, or you can take Blood in the Eye. It's more of a choice for you. Both of them are a good option, but I choose to take Violent Retaliation. So tell me a comment if you have any questions about my skill tree. And let's take a look at my gear now. So let's start with my weapon. I'm currently using this sword here, and you want as good crit chance and physical damage as you can get, and also some attack speed if you can. A good alternative to a sword like this is to use a Skiva. It is a very powerful weapon, and it have a lot of physical damage and some decent crit chance, and it's very inexpensive. For my helmet, I'm currently using Abyssus. This is a legacy Abyssus I have right here. You can see it on the screen right now, the non-legacy one, which isn't as powerful, but still a very powerful helmet, and give you a lot of damage, but they have one drawback. It increases the physical damage you take, so always be careful against physical damage when you're using this helmet. An alternative to Abyssus will not do as much damage, but it is to use the Rat's Nest. You can see it on screen right now. It's a good helmet, it have attack speed and critical strike chance. For my shield, I'm currently using this shield here, and you can see it on screen how it actually looks like, because I'm using a skinnet right now. It doesn't look like this, yeah, but you can see it on screen right now. And I'm mainly using this shield for the hits can't be invaded. So you need no accuracy at all in this build when you're using this shield, which is really good. And you can use some other shields as well, like Aegis Aurora or a rare shield or something like that, another more powerful shield which gives you even more defense, but then you need some accuracy on your gear. For your amulets and rings, you want life and resistance, and if you can, some damage. For my armor, I'm currently using this Astral Plate here, and what you want for your chest armor, you want as good life as you can get and as good armor as you can get. And the resistance you might need. It doesn't have to be an Astral Plate. The best armor you can use for this build it is to use a 6-linked Belly of the Beast, but it's a very expensive armor, but it's also one of the best armors you could possibly use. It gives you a ton of life. For my belt, I'm currently using this belt here. It's a quite nice belt. It gives me a lot of life. It gives me some resistance, it gives me some damage, it gives me some armor. And that's what you're gonna aim for. Always aim for a defensive belt, which has much life and resistance as you can. For your boots, you want life and resistance and some movement speed if you can. For my gloves, I'm currently using these gloves here. It gives me some damage. I also have some block chance on them, and I have some life on them as well. Some alternative gloves would be to use Ascendancy Accuracy, which are very powerful gloves, but they are quite expensive. Actually, they are very expensive. You can also use, if you want more damage, but you want to sacrifice some life and protection, is to use Malagar's Virtue. You can see it on screen right now. It gives you a lot of crit chance and crit multiplier. And for my flask, I'm currently using this flask here and this Eternal Flask here, which have removed bleeding, which are very important because you take extra damage from bleeding due to abysses. So always carry an anti-bleeding flask. I'm using this flask here, which have increased recovery rate. I'm using a Roommate's Concoction for some even more block chance and some armor on it. I'm using Alliance Raw. It's a quite powerful flask, give you a lot of damage. I'm using Ascendancy's Promise. You can use a Taste of Hate to this build, which will be a very powerful flask. And if you have a Taste of Hate, you don't need to use Alliance Raw anymore. And that's pretty much my gear. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's take a look at my skill gems and support gems. I'm gonna start with Blade Flurry. And Blade Flurry are supported by Physical to Lightning, Increased Critical Strikes, Melee Physical Damage, Elemental Damage with attacks, and added fire damage. If you only have a 5-link setup, just take away added fire damage. I'm using two movement skill, which is Whirling Blade and Leap Slam, and they're both supported by Blood Magic and Fortify. I'm using two mana reserves, which is Herald of Ash and Hatred. I'm using two trigger block skills, which is Reckoning and Riposte, and they're both supported by melee physical damage. I'm using two custom damage take setup. The first one are a level 4 custom damage taken together with a level 2 Immortal Call and an increased duration. The other one are a custom damage taken level 8, level 1, together with Tempest Shield and Warlord's Mark. If you have any questions about my game, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm now gonna show this character in action. I thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments.
Sanity of the mind.